Okay, I didn't realize that I had not done a video for draw point divide and draw point measure, and this was part of test 2. I haven't checked to see how many people missed those particular questions, but I have found some missing videos when Moodle transferred over from what it was last semester to this semester. Then I did lose some of my videos. I didn't realize that this might be one of them. But anyway, don't remember what week it was covered in, but I'll go back and look at it and label it for that week and add it to that section, and also send you all an email about it. But I've got 2 lines that are drawn the same length. I drew one line. It's a little over 6, I think 6 point something units. But anyway, we'll go to modify properties, and I'll click on it, and it's a little over 6.5, 6.5234. So, and I copied that line over here so that both of them would be exactly the same. Now, I'm going to use draw point divide and draw point measure. I'm going to divide the top one. I'm going to measure the second one. And when you do draw point measure and draw point divide, it locates what's called a node, or AutoCAD calls it node in one spot, and then they call it a point in another spot, just like they call it draw point divide. But when you want to snap to it, it actually calls it a node. So first I'm going to go ahead and do draw point divide, and I'm going to click on that one, and then the command line says enter the number of segments. So divide will divide this line into whatever segments that you tell it to. So I'm going to put in 3, and actually I'm going to do that again because I wanted to show you with that turned off, and I thought I had it turned off. The default for format point style is this little dot right there, which you can't see, but it is there. So I'm going to go back and do that again because that would be the default setting. Draw point divide, and then I'm going to select it, and 3, because this is probably what you'll do the first time. You say, well, I divided into 3, but I don't see it. So then you would go to format point style, and then you would change it to something that you could see. Circle, X, it doesn't really matter. I'm using X, and click OK. And you can see it's marked in X there, and it's divided that line into 3 equal parts. Draw, point, measure. I'm going to select that line, and this time I'm going to put in 3. But it's asking me for the length of my segment. So you can see the way the lines are divided up is different. Divide actually divides it in equal spaces, and measure starts measuring with that mention that you gave the AutoCAD. So if I use this dimension linear, now if I want to snap to that point, or like I say in another place they call it a node, and I'm going to have to adjust my settings and object snap. I'm going to go to settings just so you can see it, and it's right here. Notice that they don't have one labeled point, but they call it node. So once that's on, now I can snap to it. And if I dimension that all the way down the line, I'd get that exact same dimension for each location. Now let's look at this other one. Sorry, anyway, I was doing measure, dimension, linear. That one measures 3 units, but let's look at the last one. Because that line was only 5234, it started measuring 3 units until it ran out. And then once it ran out, it couldn't measure 3 units anymore. So whether, I'm going to go back to format, point style, and I'm going to turn that back to the dot. And notice that I can't see them. But as long as I've got my object snap so that I can see my nodes, I don't know if you can see if that blue box is around it, then I can still snap to it even though I can't see it. Well, I didn't erase them, did I? Let me see. Format, point style, turn it back on. Dimension, linear. You know what? No. I think it's because the midpoint. No. There it is. Okay. I just didn't look for it, but it will still snap. And if I wanted to draw a line at one of those nodes, I could do that too. So whether they're turned off or on, I can still snap to them as long as the snap setting is set on here. But that's draw point measure and draw point divide, and the only difference is divide does it equally, measure starts measuring, and measure will start measuring depending on which end of the line you picked. We'll get rid of those. I'm going to do format, point style, just so I can see them, so that I can erase them. And this time I'm going to pick this line, instead of on the left hand end, I'm going to pick it on the right hand end. Draw, point, measure. I'm going to pick it over here, and I'm going to pick 3 units. And this time it started measuring from the right hand end. With divide it doesn't matter because it's in equal spots, but with measure it's a little bit different. So that was it, and just wanted to be sure. And in the future, if you see all the commands that are listed on the command list should be covered by the video, and if they're not, then that's my fault and I need to add that. So that's it. Let me know if you